Yo, what's going on? Ruled by Mercury, man. Virgo shit, man. Listen, hey, I'm back with another message. Well, it's not really a message. In this video, it's more like a story time. You feel me? I got multiple stories in one. But no, it's not about story time about female attraction. You feel me? This is a story time, as you can see by the title. It's about how I realized I was chosen, man. I'm just gonna be walking y'all through different stories and stuff, you know? Things that led up to me knowing that I was chosen for real, right? And I feel like this video can be beneficial to people who are still in doubt for real, who may not be sure about their life path, you know? You may not be sure if you're chosen or not. And so I know if I share my story, it might give you some insight, right? Because I know when certain people share their stories about certain stuff and it resonate with me, they kind of give me insight on my life, you know, on certain things. So that's kind of the intentions with this video, right? I got my tea, my herbal tea. Well, it's not even herbal tea. This is black tea, regular black tea. But yeah, man, without further ado, we're gonna get into it, right? So, alright, and I'm gonna try to talk slow because I realize in some of my videos I be talking mad fast. Feel me? So, alright, so basically, it's like nah, but look. So, how I realized I was chosen, right? Well, events that led up to me realizing that I was chosen. So I remember back when I was like 9 years old, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this shit start as a kid, man. This ain't nothing that I just, I just was able to, in my adult years, I've been able to put a name on it, put a title on it, you know, chosen. But growing up, I didn't really have a name for it. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I just knew I was different. And I knew I went through things that other people didn't go through. Like, for example, I remember I was 9 years old, bro. And, I basically had my first astral projection experience, bro, at 9 years old, fam. Like for real, I came out of my body. I was able to see myself sleeping and see everybody else around me sleeping. Like, I'm gonna explain it further, right? I'm gonna get into it. But I was living in a neighborhood in Gwinnett County, Georgia. That's where I kind of grew up at, in Gwinnett County. Not kind of, I say kind of because I grew up in Georgia and New York at the same time. You feel me? I was born in New York. I left to Georgia when I was 3 because my mom lived with her mom at the time, basically. And so we all just moved and when my grandmother left to Georgia, my mom went with her, basically, you know? Who wouldn't go with their mom, right? My mom was 18 or 19 at the time when she had me, you feel me? So she was still young. So basically, I remember I used to have these friends, right? I remember their name and all of that, bro. Jacob and Dylan. And we was friends, but they used to be hating on me and shit. Now that I look back, I get why, like, you know? But we was friends at the same time. It was weird. Like, we'd be friends and then like they'll do some weird random shit and try to pick a fight with me and shit like that, right? I didn't get that shit growing up. I didn't understand that. But like with this one particular time, they tried to jump me, right? But I always had the hands. I ain't gonna lie. I always had the hands, bro. Like, ask anybody that know me, bro. Ask anybody that know me for real. I always had the hands, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I was gifted with these. Like, for real. That's another one of my gifts. That ain't like the only thing. But I was definitely gifted with the skills of fighting, bro. Like you try to run up on me playing, you're gonna get whoop, wop, wop. I'm telling you, because I'm nice with the hands. Even as a kid, right? So I was 9 years old. They tried to jump me, right? Of course, you know, they struggling, but then eventually they kind of get the best of me. they tried to like, but it wasn't like them punching me. They was trying to force me into a dryer. Yeah, weird, right? Trying to force me into a dryer. We was fighting in a laundromat. They tried to force me into the dryer and like close it and turn it on some shit like that. I would have smothered to death, bro. If they was successful, I would have probably smothered to death. You know what I mean? But I got up out of there. I kicked out of it somehow, broke out, boom. But it's like, it's weird because that same night is when I had an outer body experience, bro. That same night. The same night. I was 9 years old. And we didn't have that many rooms in the house, right? So I was still sleeping with my mom. My mom had this big ass bed, you feel me? And I used to sleep in the bed with my mom at 9 years old still. I don't give a fuck, I don't got no shame. I didn't have my own room. And we made it work. So, but I'm saying that to say because she can tell you. This is how you know I ain't lying. My mama tell you that I had an astral projection experience because ever since that night, I woke up and I was telling her like, Mom, I used to say, Mommy, I got stuck in my sleep. I got stuck in my sleep. That's how I used to describe it. I got stuck in my sleep because before I would come out my body, it'll feel like some sleep paralysis shit, bro. And I didn't know that's what it was at the time. I didn't have a name for it, but now I have the name for it. But like I said, I would just describe it as being stuck in my sleep. I would feel like something was holding me down. You know, y'all, bro, if you had a sleep paralysis experience or an astral projection, do you know what I'm talking about? You try to scream, the sounds muffled, everything be all dark. You try to move, the shit be like, you be moving in slow motion. You trying to scream for help, can't nobody hear you. That shit was weird. That shit used to scare the living shit out of me, bro. So I tried to block it off. I didn't realize that this was a gift. I was traveling dimensions and shit at an early age, bro. Like real live traveling dimensions, bro. And I'm not even just like saying that. Like I was real live traveling, bro. Like for real, gang. Like I'm not the one to come on here and lie to y'all. Like I tell you exactly what it was for real. So, but now I be wishing that shit come back because it's like, damn, I want to travel again. I want to travel dimensions now. But it kind of like it happens sometimes. It still happens, but it don't happen like how it used to. I used to always like break out of it though. Like I'll get into that mode where I feel stuck, and I'm conscious of it the whole time. And I'll get into that mode where I feel stuck, and then I'll eventually like break out of that shit, like just jump out of it. When I was younger though, I couldn't jump out of it. I would just be stuck in that whole mode, and I would travel. But as I got a little older, and I started getting more scared of it, and more scared, and now I'm hearing stories about that's the devil riding your back and shit like that. Now I'm really kicking out that shit now. Well, not now, but at the time, I was kicking out that shit then. You feel me? I was really kicking out that shit. Like, nah, hell nah. The devil on my back. Oh nah. Gotta get up out of there. But yeah, man. So ever since that experience, bro, and it wasn't no dream. This was like I said, I was conscious of it going on. I would literally feel myself come out of my body. You feel me? So it wasn't no dream. It ain't me tripping. It ain't me going crazy. A lot of people know about this stuff because they've been through it. But I remember at a point in time where I thought I was the only one that ever experienced that in my life, bro, because I was 9 years old going through that shit. And I would ask people, do y'all know about this? Do y'all know about that? And they would not know what the fuck I was talking about. You feel me? So I'm like, damn, I must be cursed. I felt like I was cursed for a long time. But eventually I learned, you know, it's a spiritual thing that I was going through. And that, since then, I think that's as far as I can remember when I knew I was different. You know? That's when I knew I was different, bro. You know? Come ask people, y'all know about this? Y'all know about it? They didn't know. So, I don't know why this state trooper is like, keep circling me. She done circled around the block about 5 times right now, just now. I don't know what she's doing. But, I ain't on no trouble. Ain't in no trouble, lady. So I hope you ain't looking for me. But that was the first one, right? That was the first thing. I knew I was different, bro. And then when I learned that it was astral projection and out-of-body experiences, that's when I really was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely... But at first, I was a little confused. I didn't know what was going on for real. But that was like the first thing that let me know. Like, something about me is different. And then, like I said, my grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness. I probably didn't say that already, but like, I've made videos where I've said it. That's what I mean by, like I said. But yeah, my grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness, right? And so she would hold Sunday Bible lessons and stuff like that. And I remember just like when I would hear about the 144,000, I would always resonate with that story, bro. Like I would always just I felt like I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that, bro. I don't know. I just felt like that for a very long time, since I was a little boy. Since I was a little boy, bro. I knew I was chosen. Of course I didn't have a name for it, but that's what the feeling I was feeling. Now that I have a name for it, it was me feeling chosen. Or me feeling guided by angels and shit like that. I always felt watched and guided and protected by unseen forces, bro. And like positively, not negative. I only thought that I was cursed because of my astral projection experiences. When I heard from other people saying that's the devil riding your back, but before that I didn't think of it like that. So people kind of influenced me to think like that. Then I started feeling like I was cursed and watched by unseen forces on the negative side. But really the whole time it was positive. But yeah, man, your boy had a real life out-of-body astral projection experiences at 9 years old. I remember being like 9, 10, me and my cousin, we was having like that's another sign too. Another thing that led me to realizing that I was chosen. Because me and my cousin was like 9, 10 years old, bro. Having conversations that normal 9, 10-year-olds don't have conversations about, bro. You feel me? We talking about how reality is simulated, and we wasn't saying reality is simulated, but I was like, yo, why does life feel like a game, like a video game? I used to say shit like that, bro. Bro, I promise you, gang. Like, if he was here right now, he'd be like, bro, I remember that. He's not dead or nothing like that. He's just not here. He's not dead. He's just not here. We don't live in the same state anymore. But this is my cousin I grew up with. Like, I grew up in a full house, me and my cousins, and we all had the same grandma. Because my grandmother, you know, their parents is my uncles and shit like that. And my mom is their aunt. So that's kind of how I grew up with me and my 3 other cousins before my mom had my little sister and little brother and shit. I'm the first child. So, but yeah, bro, that led me into knowing that I was chosen too, because the knowledge that I was having, the knowledge that I carried felt older than me. The knowledge that I carried, bro, felt older than me. You feel me? Like, I had wisdom. Like, I got real live wisdom, gang. You feel me? Like, and I'm not even just like saying that or bragging. Like, I got real live wisdom, bro. And I'm grateful for that. You know, I've always been able to see into the unseen, bro, even when I didn't know that's what I was doing. Now I can put a name on it, you feel me? But I've always been this way, bro. Another thing that led me into knowing I was chosen was this, right? Now, this is when I get a little older. I'm 17, okay? This is when I start getting in trouble with the law. Going to jail and shit like that, right? Now, y'all wouldn't even be able to know. I done been to jail. Well, you probably would look at me and think, I don't know. But a lot of people have told me in my life that I don't look like even when I was in jail, people used to tell me like, yo, bro, what is you doing here? You're not supposed to be here, bro. People were real live telling me that shit, bro. So that's why I'm saying, like, I guess I don't look like the shit that I've been through. You feel me? I don't speak like it. I don't act like it no more. I tried to keep up with a persona. You know, that was really a defense mechanism. All that tough street shit, that's really a defense mechanism, bro. When you think about it on a psychological aspect, it's really a defense mechanism. A lot of people start like that. A lot of young men start off like that. Start off in character mode. And then it becomes real because you end up psyching yourself out to it. You feel me? I done seen it. That's how I know. A lot of young men start off like that. They start off acting like they're tough, acting like they gangster, acting like they street, and then it becomes a real thing because you done psyched yourself out to it. You know, your mind made it real. You can become whatever you want to become. There's no set in stone to who you are. So you can turn into a gangster. You can turn into that. You can. Like, once you understand how the mind works, you feel me? So that's how a lot of people start off. A lot of young men start like that, bro, acting. And that was me, right? Then it became real. But now I'm realizing that it was all a persona, bro. It was really just me, like, putting up a defense mechanism. Because I guess at an early age, bro, I know what it is. Because I used to get, like, teased. I used to get teased and shit, picked on. I didn't understand that when girls teased you, they really like you for real. I didn't understand that, so I used to personalize it. And they used to call me short and skinny. And I used to feel like, damn, now I feel like I'm inferior. And so the tough guy shit came as a defense mechanism for me feeling inferior, basically. You see what I mean? And I ain't even gonna say tough. I used to do hot shit. I used to get in trouble a lot. I used to just be bad. And I didn't grow up a bad child. You see what I'm saying? I didn't grow up a bad child. But I used to just get into trouble around 17. It really was bad influence. It really was bad influence, bro. I used to hang around with certain people that I thought was cool in my eyes. But it just so happened to be that all the cool ones was always the ones that was getting into trouble, doing hot shit. So I used to kind of just follow that. And, like, I thought it was fun. So, all right, so 17, I get in trouble. I go to jail. You know what I'm saying? I remember this shit clear as day, bro. My stupid ass, my dumb ass, kicked somebody's door in my own neighborhood, bro. Like, that's how idiotic I used to be, bro. I ain't no other word for it, gang. And I'm not coming down on myself, like, cause I done grew out of that stage. So I'm no longer 17 no more. I'm way beyond 7. I'm 28 now. So, like, I can talk about it and say that I was really being stupid. You know what I mean? My dumb ass done kicked, and that wasn't my first charge. I'm tripping. My first time getting in trouble with the law, I was like 14. I had stole some shit from Dollar General. I stole some Hot Wheel cars. And the way that I tried to do it, bro, I tried to do it like... Yo! Hey, this shit funny as hell. Cause the way that I tried to do it, bro, was so stupid, bro. You know, cause I used to watch SpongeBob and shit, right? So I used to see SpongeBob doing it, like sneaking shit and putting it under his shirt and whistling. Trying to walk off and be... I tried to do that dumbass shit, right? I put the Hot Wheels under my shirt and tried to whistle walking off out the store. Security guard came out, grabbed me up. Come here. Fuck you mean? Come here. Grabbed me up. They called the police. But I was 14. I didn't get in trouble. They just called my parents. I was still a minor. You feel me? They just called my parents. My parents came in. Boy, what the hell is wrong with you? You feel me? Oh yeah, I heard it. I had to get an ear full of that. You feel me? So, like, that's basically what happened at 14, right? But at 17, this is when I started getting in trouble with the law, actually getting in trouble, going to jail and shit like that. And see, but like, what I realized about this, right, is me going to jail and getting in trouble is like, anytime I tried to do something that everybody else was, like, the world was doing, anytime I tried to be involved with the world, I will always get, like, it's like I was always sat down. Like a parent. Like, you know how you're a parent, like a favorite child, you may be able to do certain things, but when you go certain, you can't. No, I mean, you can't do certain things. You're gonna get sat down for it, or you're gonna get popped because you know better, you know the most. It's as if God always favored me. See what I'm saying? So anytime that I would try to do things of the world, it's like I was punished, but not really punished. Like, cause when I went to jail, I didn't have a hard time in there. You know what I'm saying? I always had messengers, for real. Like, I didn't know that at the time. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't say messenger. I would just say good people. But now I realize what it is. It was really, I was always housed with messengers. People that will always tell me stuff about God, and every time, bro. And I done been to jail more than 10 times. This was every time. Yeah, I know. I've been to jail more than 10 times, bro. I'm not proud to say that. I'm not trying to talk. I'm not bragging about this. I'm trying to tell y'all this for a reason. Because every time that I would go to jail and sit down and do that time, it was never a hard time, bro. So it was like I was punished, but I wasn't punished. It's like the punishment was for my benefit type shit. It's like I was being isolated, sat down, and like how you would do with a child that knows better. You feel what I mean? So I was always housed with messengers, and I mean, like, how, like, in the cell with them. Like, my cellmates was always good people. They was always people that they may not have been necessarily religious, but they will always talk about God. And that's what makes it even more strange, because a lot of them wasn't even religious. And y'all talking about God? So it's like as if God meant, it's like as if God was speaking through them to me. You get what I mean? So I remember people used to tell me, they used to look at me like, yo, bro, why is you in here? Like, I used to get that look, because I damn near can read people's thoughts, for real. Like, I'm for real. I damn near can look at a person and know what they thinking, for real. So they would look at me in a way like give me that little smirk, like, you're not even supposed to be in here. You feel me? But then some people would actually come tell me that, like, yo, bro, what you did? Cause you don't look like you supposed to be in here. Like, for real. They used to tell me that shit, and I didn't understand that. I thought they was trying to call me sweet. Like, nigga, what? Cause that's when I had developed that personality, that street tough character shit. So I'm like, you trying to call me sweet, for real? So I was trying to put that act on even more. Like, what you mean? I ain't supposed to be in here. Feel me? I did this, I did that. I did this, I did that. You feel me? But the whole time, I'm not peeping the shit. Now I get it. They was trying to tell me, like, bro, I wasn't supposed to be in there. You know what I mean? That wasn't the life that was meant for me, for real. That was me trying to force some shit that, you know, and just doing stupid stuff, bro. But and I'm sorry for cussing a lot, but you know, that's just how I am, bro. Something I have to work on. But that's how you know it's organic. I'm not put on the front. This is how I really am. You know what I mean? But they used to tell me, like, yo, bro, you don't look like you're supposed to be in here, bro. You know, and it didn't really dawn upon me until later on after my life, when I stopped getting in trouble. And these is actually jail tattoos that I got on me. That's why it's fucked up like that. Well, the one on my hand is, and this one right here, and I got another one right here. You can barely see it. But so I ain't lying. That's why I say that. It's not to brag. I don't brag. Jail is not a cool place to go to. You know what I mean? Even though I had a good time, not a good time. But what I'm saying is, like, I didn't have like a hard time in there. I always had it was always smooth sailing, because I was always like I say, I was housed with people who was like used as a vessel for God to send me messages and shit like that, bro. They would always tell me certain stuff. I even had some people reading the Bible to me, bro. Like, it was this one kid in there. He was around my age, but he was a Hebrew Israelite. I forgot his name, man. He was younger than me. He had tattoos all over him, but he was a Hebrew Israelite. I guess he changed his life or whatever. And he used to always tell me certain verses in the Bible, and he used to use this word. I forgot, bro. I ain't gonna try to remember it right now, but like, he used to use this word, like, I guess precinct, something about the Bible. He's like, you have to understand the precincts, the precincts, or some shit like that. He kept saying that, and I don't know, it just stuck with me, bro. It just stuck with me, gang. Like, even though I don't remember the word now, but it still stuck with me, like, because what he was trying to say, because I was telling him that I don't believe in the Bible, I don't understand that shit, but really, whole time I was adopting that mindset from my father, because my dad didn't believe in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? My dad was like a 5%er, if y'all know what that is. Oh yeah, I'm being real transparent in this video. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you everything, but I'm keeping it G with you. My dad is a 5%er. Well, he was a 5%er. God body, and it's truth to that too, bro. It's truth to everything. What you're gonna realize is all that stuff connects. All this stuff, different stuff connect. It's not separate. I'm not one to go Christianity over Buddhism or over Islam. All of that stuff connects if you have the eye to see it. God, body, all that stuff connect, because we are gods in the flesh. We're made in God's image. If you really want to get into the, like, but yeah, bro. Without getting all too off topic, right? Because I was about to start spiraling way off, but yeah, bro. It's just little stuff like that, man, that led me into knowing that I was different. You feel me? In school, right? At a very early age, like in elementary school, even middle school too. I never fitted in, bro. I never fitted in, gang. And I think that's where that persona came from too, is me trying to fit in. Because around high school, I was kind of fitting in, because I was keeping up that persona, but I still didn't fit in for real. Like, so it's weird. But I remember at an early age, bro, I never fitted in. Like, I was always different, bro. I even dressed different. You know what I mean? I used to dress different. I used to style my hair differently. You know what I mean? Everything about me used to be different, bro. Then it got to a point where I started following people. You know what I mean? And doing all of that. But before that, I used to, like, and I was still different even throughout all of that. But I remember, bro, being in elementary school, I used to pretty much get teased for being different. You know what I'm saying? I was quiet, smart. You know what I mean? And now that I understand why, I can explain it. When you quiet and you smart and you don't seek validation from others, bro, and you just to yourself, that bothers people who seek validation and who don't know how to be by themselves. Basically, you see what I'm saying? So, like, it's kind of like that mirror again. You put up a mirror. You know what I mean? I was putting up mirrors at an early age, bro. You know, and people were projected towards me, and I didn't understand it. So that's why I started changing myself. But the moment you start changing yourself for other people is the moment you start losing yourself. And that's how shadows get created. That is how shadows get created, right there. Because you're leaving parts of yourself in the dark, literally. That's why it's called a shadow. You're leaving parts of yourself in the dark to try to fit in and be a different person and try to fit this different persona. And that's what leads into the shadows, because you're leaving parts of yourself in the dark. That's why it's called a shadow. So, yeah, man, I just never fitted in. Like, around high school, that's when I started getting, like, a lot of girls and shit like that. Middle school, too. Like, 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. That's when I started really getting active with, like, you know what I'm saying, females, and I started kind of getting into my little ways and stuff, bro. Becoming what I thought was cool at the time. You know what I mean? And but even then, on a soul level, like on a spirit level, on an energy level, I didn't fit in. I didn't understand the children, why they were the way they were. I remember this, bro, being like in middle school, looking at how everybody was, and I used to just see how programmed they was. I didn't know this at the time. I didn't have a word for it, but this is me speaking now. I know the words for it now. But I was seeing the programming in people. Like, they was all the same. They all act the same. They all do the same shit. They talk the same way, dress the same way. You see what I mean? And I remember being in middle school too. I would always be able to, I would instantly know if somebody was a good person or a bad person. Just by their energy. I could just know. See, at the time, I didn't know that I knew this. So I thought it was just me being judgmental. Like, let me stop projecting. No, I didn't say that, but I was like, let me stop thinking like this. You know? I didn't understand myself, bro. But, yo, I was always gifted, bro. Always in tune, bro. Like, always. I immediately, I could walk into a room and know the good spirits from the bad spirits. Just based off how you acting, based off a look that you give me, I just knew. I remember this one kid's name was Stefan. See, I remember names and all of that. There's one kid named Stefan, bro, in middle school. No, this was 5th grade. This was 5th grade, and Miss, I forgot her name. Miss, damn, what was her name? Miss, I think her name was Miss Fairfield or something like that. I forgot, Miss something. But I went to a school called Benefield. And I had a teacher, I forgot her name. One of my favorite teachers, bro. She was mad cool. But in that class, 5th grade, it was a kid named Stefan. It was my first day of school. I just immediately knew that he was gonna be the troublemaker. I just knew. I looked at him, I heard him talk, I seen how he was moving. I was like, yeah, something is not right with that kid. I don't remember exactly what I was saying in my head, but this is what I was, you know, it's something along the lines of that. Like, yeah, something ain't right, you feel me? I just knew something wasn't right with him, bro. And sure enough, it started playing out, and I was right, because he was the troublemaker. You feel what I mean? He was the troublemaker. He was like one of the class clowns type shit. But me and him ended up becoming cool. That's what's weird. Like, he didn't never pick on me. We became cool. So, but yo, little stuff like that, bro. I'm trying to think. A lot of different stuff. I know I'm leaving a lot of different stuff out too, because I don't remember everything. But I've been knowing I was chosen for a long time, bro. For a long, long time, bro. You feel me? Even my dreams was different. You know what I'm saying? My dreams was different. I remember I had a dream I seen Jesus, bro, in the woods, real live. It was the Jesus that the Jesus that the church was that the church showed you. The white Jesus with the it was that Jesus that I seen in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally encountered him in the woods. The man had a white robe on and all of that, but the dream was so weird because it didn't look like a dream. It looked like it was like a picture of him, like a puzzle or something. Like, he looked at like a puzzle. I don't know how to explain it, bro, because I barely remember it. But he wasn't a figure like me and you. He was a puzzle. But he was moving. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. It was weird. And I ain't gonna try to sit up here and explain it, because you're gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about? You feel me? But like, I seen Jesus, bro, in my dream. That ass. The one that they show you in church. I seen him in the woods. You feel me? In my dream, I remember telling my mom about this. My mom and my grandmother. Like, Mom, I seen Jesus. I seen Jesus in the woods. And my grandmother, man, my grandmother always knew that I was chosen. You feel me? She used to tell me, like, David, you guided by angels. And she used to tell me that, for real. She used to tell me, like, I could see you being a pioneer, like going door to door and preaching, spreading the word, pretty much. Waking people up, basically, you know? I ain't religious, but I guess pioneering essentially was just waking people up to the truth, which is what I do now. So I'm basically pioneering. I ain't going door to door, but I'm pioneering in a way. You feel me? And I'm not religious. You know, I'm spiritual, but like, you know, and just the stuff that I always was interested in. I was always interested in like the mystical, you know, shit about life. I was never into the mundane, regular shit. I was always into the mystical shit. Feel me? all the spiritual shit about life. And so yeah, that's how I kind of just, stuff like that, bro. A lot of different things led into me knowing that I was chosen, bro. Like I said, my interest, I got distracted just that fast because somebody just walked close to me and just stood there. I don't know what that was about. He just literally just walked close to me and just stood there. He wasn't looking at me though. He was looking somewhere else. So yeah, that's why I just kind of like stopped like that. That was just weird. But I ain't gonna say it was weird. Let me not be judgmental, because anything could be going on. He probably, I don't know. But yo, now in my adult years, I know I'm chosen now. So it's like it makes sense why I go through what I go through, and all the stuff that I go through. I mean, yeah, basically. All the shit I be going through, man, like it just make the good and the bad. I ain't talking about just the negative. I mean, like just everything in life. It all makes sense now, bro. You feel me? It all makes sense now, bro. But I was always different, man. I was always different, and I would try to not be different. I didn't understand that being different was a good thing. I internalized that being different was not cool. I didn't fit in, so I would try to make myself fit in, and see what I realized about that. And now in my adult years is it's not situations that affect you, it's about how you internalize them. See, I internalized not fitting in as a bad thing, and that's why I started trying to change myself. And amidst doing that, I started creating my own shadows, because I'm leaving my real self in the dark, trying to be somebody else. You feel what I mean? So it's the way you internalize things that really affect you. It's not the situation itself at hand. It's the way you internalize it. If you learn to, so that's why now the way I see things, I don't internalize it. I don't always look at stuff negatively. Like when stuff happen, when negative things happen, I'm learning now to that I can find a positive within it. There's always a positive within the negative. If you actively look for it, you ain't gonna find it just if you focus on the negative only, or if you're not looking for it, the positive. You have to actively use your mind to look for the positive and the negative. And then amidst doing that is how you transform the situation, bro. It's a nice day out here, man. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I'm at the little park, man. You feel me? Chilling, talking to y'all boys, chopping it up with my viewers, man. Hey, I love YouTube, bro. This is what I always wanted to do. I ain't gonna lie. Travel the world and blog and like just help people and guide people in real life, bro. Like, I always wanted to be a guide for people. Since a child, bro, I knew I was gonna be doing this. Not YouTube, but I knew I was gonna be. See, that's another thing too. That's another thing. As a child, I was very gifted. I did art. I drew art. I was into all of the taboo shit, bro. And I knew that I was just here. I had a vision as a child. I had a vision. Not like a singular vision, but I mean like I had a vision. Like I knew what I was gonna be in life. Like I knew that I was gonna be I knew I had a purpose. I knew that my purpose was to help people in some kind of way. And because how children, when you were a child, you talk to yourself, right? That's how I know people who talk to themselves now, they're not always crazy, because we did it as children, right? But when you were a child, you talk to yourself, you got them imaginary friends. The way I used to do it though, it's like I was always talking to a crowd of people, because on the inside I knew that I was gonna be a person that was gonna influence people in some kind of way. I just knew. Even I didn't have a name for it, but I just knew it was a part of my vision. I had a vision as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I just knew that I was gonna be a help to the world in some kind of way. I was here for a big purpose, not no little shit. That's another thing too. I had that vision as a child, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have a vision like that. They get their vision come later on in life. I talk to like my little cousins and stuff like that now. You know, they don't really know what they want to be. They don't have no type of clue. Or maybe they do, they just don't understand themselves like how, you know? But, because I remember at a point in time, I didn't understand myself. But, as a child, bro, I had dreams and aspirations, bro. You know, normally that comes a little when you get older. I'm assuming. But, yeah, man, I knew I was here for a grand purpose, bro. Like, so I'm here to influence and bring about world changes. You feel me? And that's not to brag. That's just, I'm keeping it transparent with y'all, bro. This is what I knew as a child. And look at me. I'm here. I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's starting off small, you know. I don't got that many viewers and stuff, you know. But it's all good. You know, I'm grateful for the viewers that I do have. I'm grateful for y'all for real, bro. Like, I really want y'all to know that, man. Because I don't even get support from my own kin. You feel me? People that know what I do don't even watch my videos. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that, but it keep me going for real. Even if y'all didn't do it, I know this is a part of my mission now. So, and I know things start off small and it don't always go the way you want it to go at first. So even if y'all didn't, I would still, but you know, y'all just like an extra boost. So I really do appreciate y'all for real, man. Like genuinely, for real. Like real love though. Like when people say a stranger will treat you better than your own kin sometimes, bro, that's real. That ain't even just talk. It's like you can get along with a stranger before you can get along with your own kin sometimes, bro. Like it ain't even about getting along. It is about like I'm talking about as far as resonating with them. Like I feel misunderstood by my family. They don't understand me for real. But I talk to a stranger and it's like they get it. They understand. It's called a soul family. That's your soul family, bro. When that happens, that's the soul tribe. People that resonate with you on a soul level. You know, because before the blood, before the flesh, it was the soul. So, yeah, man, that's why it hit home so much. But yo, if you resonate with this video, bro, like it up. I know I'm leaving something out too, but it's all good. If you want a part 2, let me know. I'll probably think of something else and then I'll make a part 2 about it. But yeah, man, like the video up, share the message, man, spread the word. You feel me? This might help other people realize that they're chosen too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm chosen, bro. I done been through a lot of stuff. Like I said, man, all right. Let me finish off with this, right? I used to get punished, but not punished. And I already said that, but I want to go into detail a little bit more. I remember one time I had heroin on me, bro. Heroin. Yes, heroin. Yes, heroin. I had fucking heroin on me, bro. Trying to be a damn drug dealer. Thinking I was a damn drug dealer. You feel me? I had some heroin on me. So, but I remember the police, they stopped us and searched us, bro. I had the heroin on me in my sock, bro. In Georgia, if you get caught with a gram of heroin, you're doing 25. You're doing a football number. You're doing a football number. You get caught with some heroin down south. You get caught with that heroin? Boy. Come here. Clank, get in the car. I'm telling you, get in the car. Gavel. 25. Nah, for real. Get in the car. So I had that heroin on me, bro, and like what happened was they didn't even find it. They ain't even find this shit, twin. They patting me down. They touching that heroin. It's in my sock. They touching it and all of that. What happened was before he didn't touch the heroin. He was about to, right? He was patting me down, touching me, patting me down and shit. Right before he got to the heroin though, they had got an emergency call. You know how that shit go. 10-4, oh, whatever the shit they be saying. 10-4, blah, 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 blah. Right? So, I'm like, yo. It's like, yo, it just be crazy, bro. That was a miracle. That was a miracle, you feel me? I was supposed to be shot at one time. I remember somebody had rolled up on me. And I guess I have a familiar face or whatever, because they was looking for their ops, but was mistaking me for one of their ops. You feel what I'm saying? This is in New York now. This was in New York. See, Georgia, it was kind of like, it wasn't really the hood. Where I grew up, it wasn't the hood. But like I said, I was back and forth because I got family in both areas. My dad lived up here, and all my cousins on his side, they all up here. So even on my mom's side, they all up here too. We the only ones that moved to Georgia. It was me, my mom, my grandmother, and my cousins and shit. But everybody else, they stayed. Like, so both my families is from up here, for real. They from up here and Milwaukee and Chicago and Midwest, and you know, we all from up north though. But from the South, when I go back in my genealogy, we come from the South for real. Like my great grandmother and shit, like they was from Mississippi and all of that. You feel me? I ain't get to meet them though. I just met grandma. I grew up with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? I feel honored to say that, man. Because I grew up with my grandmother. You see what I mean? A lot of people didn't grow up with their grandmothers. But anyway, I just got off track. Damn, I forgot where I was going, man. I forgot where I was going. Hold on.